And welcome to the last and final game of the Muskogee Round Robin Tournament. Right now, you're looking at the Fort Gibson Tigers versus the Muskogee Ruffers here at the Indian Bowl in Muskogee, Oklahoma. This is the last game of 6 for us today here. Thank you for tuning in and staying here all afternoon and evening long. We saved surely, hopefully, the best for last. The Muskogee team who played Coweta earlier today, played them hard, played them tough, tied the game, and left with maybe a unsatisfied taste in their mouth. But this Fort Gibson team, we just recently saw them play Coweta themselves, finishing the game off 5-0, a brilliant, magnificent game that was something to behold. Hopefully, we have a more evenly matched game tonight versus Muskogee and Fort Gibson. But it's the last one, ladies and gentlemen, so take it all in and enjoy it. And that is a great save to start off the game by number 0 for the Muskogee Ruffers. Let me get his jersey number real quick and tell you who that young man is. It looks like that's Mr. Walker with the brilliant save for the Ruffers. And what a nice save over there by Henry. Henry pushes the ball up the field, showing off the speed, and then getting in the way is number, it looks like 22. Number 22 for the Tigers. You check out the replay right here. Henry serves up the ball nicely to Perez. Number 9, that is Vasquez. And number 22 does not appear to be on the roster for Fort Gibson. And you can see number 7, Alex McElmurray, crying for a foul to be called in it, and it certainly was by the refs. And did he pull out a yellow card? And he certainly did. That was a yellow card coming out of his pocket, as number 13 for Muskogee, Christopher Chumby, will exit the game. And that's number 9, Estrada, who had 2 goals in the last game. And that's an excellent save by number 1 for Muskogee, Jacob. You can see we have quite a few athletes here on the pitch tonight, especially this number 4 right here, Henry. He's got all the quickness and speed in the world as he tries to cross the ball, and a good job by number 12 for Muskogee. Jesus taps that ball out of bounds. Estrada tries to post up and get position. Good job by number 2 for Fort Gibson, Jackson Purdue. And a good tip out by number 9, Vasquez. Oscar Vasquez called his number a couple of times early in this game. That's a good job by number 24, RK Hill, coming in and flashing and drawing a whistle. Trying to catch that jersey number right there. That ball sailed over everything and everyone. I believe that's number 5 for Muskogee, Braxton Fields, excuse me. Beauty of a kick by the goalie, number 1, Jacob Schelsing. And a good job defensively by Logan Wood getting the ball away. Henry gains control of the ball and kicks it up. Let's see if, and he can't run it down before it goes out of bounds. And a yellow card is given to number 18. It looks like for Fort Gibson. And I believe that is number 18, Blake Faulkner. And so that's 2 yellow cards given early in this game on both sides here. So things are getting chippy, and they're trying to, control this game, and both of these teams trying to set the tone and let things play out as they may. And the pace of this game, although there's a bunch of athletes out here, a bunch of guys with a lot of speed and a lot of ability, especially with the ball on their feet, it seems to be a slow-paced game. A lot of balls out of bounds, like we're seeing right now. Goalies holding it. Just a lot of things happening that is slowing down the pace of this game. A couple of yellow cards, a couple of blown whistles. Now, when they do have the ball in field of play, everything's moving quite frequently and at a fast pace, but it seems like we're doing a lot of this right now, a lot of sitting and waiting. That's number 2 for Fort Gibson. Jacob Purdue throws the ball in. And there goes the first goal of the game for Fort Gibson as they put that ball in the net, and it looks like it's number 20 for Fort Gibson. Take another look. Again, Estrada and number 20, Seth Rowan. They did it. They had that connection in the first game, and it looks like it's going to continue here again versus Muskogee. Fort Gibson just has a knack for finding the back of the net. Oh, and a good pass by Estrada right there. A little, not enough heat behind the ball, though, by Rayleigh Davis, excuse me. Estrada with a nice spin move once again. That seems to be his signature move to try to get out of traffic and confuse the defenders. 2 guys on him right there. He still executes it, but just can't get away. Muskogee tries to clear and head the ball in the other direction. Estrada tries to put the ball in play, kicks it a little too hard there. The goalie, Jacob, picks it back up and sends the ball in the other direction. See them battling over there at the end. Logan Woods decides to just kick it out, and looks like we're going to be looking at a corner kick here. Corner kick executed. Looks like it's Alex Murray. Estrada gains possession of it. Kicks it back out. A whistle's blown. Looks like Estrada's there on the ground. Looks like he'll probably get a free kick. Number 10, Riley Davis, is the one who puts the kick in the air, and he kicks it over everything and everyone. It seems like this is a situation right now where Muskogee is just sitting back and waiting, not attacking the way some of their teammates and coaches would like them to. Good job by the goalie getting the ball under control, sending it the other direction. That's cleared by the Fort Gibson player. Again, you can see the Muskogee players sitting back, kind of playing defense. Not really attacking or getting up the field, playing on their side of things for majority of this half, with a little more than 11 minutes left in the half. And that ball sails out of bounds. With the performance of Muskogee right now, you have to start to think how much of that first game took out of them, because you're seeing a different Muskogee team right now. The team that we saw against Coweta was very aggressive, forcing things, running the pitch, and making things happen. Right now, they're sitting back and waiting and letting Fort Gibson force the action. A nice pass over there by Fort Gibson, getting into dangerous territory for Muskogee, but they do a good job of clearing the ball, though they gain. Fort Gibson regains possession for a second, and then they get it back. Again, another takedown by number 18, Blake Faulkner. Henry does a good job of gaining possession of the ball and then kicked away by number 15 for Fort Gibson, Tapper Taylor. A little more than 8 minutes left in the half. And it just doesn't seem like Muskogee is going with the flow of their normal pace. It doesn't seem, you can feel the frustration from the bench and the coaching staff, and also with the lackluster play of some of the players right now. Seems like a team that's used to being on the attack, and right now that's something that they're certainly not doing. Speaking of being on the attack, here comes Fort Gibson. Muskogee sitting back. Finally able to tap that out of bounds and let the defense come back and set up. Controlled by Henry. Here comes Vasquez. And a nice save by the goalie, number 0, Fisher Taylor. Good job by a good job by Logan Wood, sending that ball literally into the stands. again sent out by the Muskogee Roughers. A little less than three minutes left in the half. 1-0 is the score, and luckily for Muskogee, it's not a little bit more the way that they've been playing. Again kicked out by Fort Gibson. The ball's in the air. Fort Gibson regains control of it, going the other direction, and then it's stopped and kicked by number 5, Braxton Fields, and it just in the hands, the raised hands of the goalie. Good save by number 0, Fisher Taylor, as he catches that with ease. A minute and 7 seconds left in the half. See if they can get any points here with a minute remaining. Send the ball the other direction, and it looks like Vasquez has a chance, but coming across is number 18. They have 20 seconds left, so they need to hurry. And the corner kick is headed towards the goal, but nothing comes of it. And with 6 seconds left, I think Fort Gibson will take this score and go into halftime. And we thought it was going to be a very intense game, especially the way Fort Gibson plays and the way Muskogee runs around on the pitch. But right now it seems like a very relaxed, somewhat methodical game by Muskogee, and Fort Gibson still pressing the issue, but not to the pace that we saw earlier. Hopefully we'll get a little bump in play in the second half, and more excitement here to come. We'll come back here in a second after a couple of commercials from Bravado Wireless. Stay tuned. Second half action is here to come.
You are called to be bold. You have a right to the best wireless service, high-speed internet, and customer service at a price you can feel good about. At Bravado Wireless, we know this, and that's why we put you and your community first. We are owned and operated right here in Eastern Oklahoma. We live where you live. We proudly connect you to your family, friends, and business partners wherever they are. Dallas, Seattle, Taipei, Toronto, and anywhere else in the world. We are Bravado Wireless. We believe in the power of connection.
Gibson versus Muskogee. The varsity boys, the last game, the last half of this all-day round-robin tournament. We're looking at the Muskogee boys, the host team versus Fort Gibson Tigers, the team that's put on probably the best performance of the tournament. Them trying to squeak by and get a win over Muskogee. First half was a tale of two teams that it seemed that in some shape or form that the game previously that they played took a lot out of them, so they were trying to get their legs underneath them, trying to figure some things out. Fort Gibson pressing the issue a little bit more than Muskogee was. Muskogee sitting back a little bit, not attacking, seeming like the fan base and their coaching staff and some of their teammates on the bench kind of crying for them and pleading for them to attack a little bit more. So hopefully that's something that they talked about at halftime, something that was discussed, and one of the adjustments that was made and that we'll see here in the second half. For Fort Gibson, hopefully they have some more success. I mean, they've been doing things that they had a lot of success with Coweta with, but just because of the fact that Muskogee's athletes seem to be a little faster and a little bit more of up-tempo play, they haven't had as much success. But right now you see one of the Fort Gibson players down on the ground. Looks like a couple of cramps have taken place right there as they try to rub it out. That player number 10, Riley Davis. I mean, we mentioned earlier, this is the start of the season for most of these guys right now. And the conditioning level and the hydration probably isn't where it should be or where it will be in mid-season form. So that's to be expected. But hopefully we see a strong ending to our day and to this round-robin tournament with a strong second half by both of these teams. And a nice pass right there down the field. It's Henry number 4 for Muskogee. Looks like he's playing a little defense right now, trying to get the ball back for Muskogee. Look at them attacking a little bit more. That's something we talked about. Fort Gibson doing a good job keeping the ball away from the Muskogee defense and getting the ball up the field. Number 28, Perez, fighting for the ball. Rolls out of bounds. See who gets the possession of it. Looks like it's going to be Fort Gibson. The ball's crossed. And a little too much mustard on that one right there as it sails to the opposite end and out of bounds, as Fort Gibson will go over there and throw it in. They send it up the field. A big collision. A lot more action here in the second half as both of these teams got a little bit of wind. And oh, wow, look at that by Estrada. He hits the inside of the post, but it doesn't go in. And luckily, the goalkeeper is able to get on top of it before it ricochets back in. Lucky break right there for the Muskogee Roughers. Looks like there's an injured player on the ground. Again, it looks like once again that it's number 10, Riley Davis. Hopefully he goes over there and gets some water and hydrates, maybe get underneath one of those blankets over there that him and his teammates seem to have found. Pressing the issue is Muskogee. It looks like the refs didn't like the interaction with maybe one of the fans or one of the coaches. And almost a big-time play by Fort Gibson. A nice header, but just too much head, and it sails over. Estrada working over there on the out-of-bounds line. Gets knocked away. Almost a steal by Henry. And that is a goal. Number 15 for Fort Gibson with the goal. Look at this replay right here. He crosses it, and it's just a nice kick, and the ball spins back. Tapper Taylor with the nice tap for the goal, and that's a 2-0 score. And he was very charged up after that. Now Muskogee's dig themselves in a deeper hole, and a very challenging one to get out of, as we've played almost 9 minutes in this half. Logan Woods battling over there on the sideline from his defensive position. And it's unfortunate that we haven't got to see Henry really get out and run in this game. I was looking forward to seeing how he would go head-to-head against some of these Fort Gibson players, especially running down the sideline and and being able to get that ball into the play and cross and mix some things up with his footwork. But Fort Gibson has done a good job of just keeping him corralled and keeping the ball away from his area. Couple of players shaken up from both teams. And it looks like a foul was called, and Estrada will get a free kick. Just him and the goalie. And Estrada gets the goal. Check out the replay right here. And it's just a low ball over there in that right-hand corner. Goalie can't get over there in time. Take a look. It looks like he hesitates just a split second over there towards the right. And because of that, Estrada makes him pay. And we're looking at a 3-0 score now. And it kind of seems like this one is in the books. You can see some of the Muskogee bench players are down here warming up. Looks like they might get a couple of subs in the game. Coming in right now, number 15, Adam Stoudemire, sophomore. Fort Gibson threatening, going down, speed picking up. Just kind of seems like Fort Gibson is just everywhere on this field at once. I mean, every time they make a play or Muskogee, you know, breaks away or makes a pass, another player comes out of nowhere and has a chance at the ball. And that's Estrada coming up with another goal as he comes up a little shaken up. You check out the speed. The goalie comes up early to try to make a play, but he doesn't affect the ball at all, and that makes it 4-0 for Fort Gibson. And I'll tell you one thing, this Jose Estrada, he is an extraordinary athlete, especially with the ball in his hands. Looking forward to seeing him the rest of the way. It's 2 games in a row, he scored 2 goals. Another player enters the game. That's Andrew Hitt. He's the one that draws the whistle right there. Get a free place kick. Another whistle is blown. With a little bit more than 11 minutes left in the game. Score 4-0, Fort Gibson Tigers against the Muskogee Roughers, the host team of this round robin. Everybody's had an opportunity to play one another. The only one that went unbeaten is the Fort Gibson girls. And it looks like with that goal right there by looks like number 20, Seth Rowan, with that being his second goal of the night. Second goal of the night that he will, this Fort Gibson team will also join the girls team and be the 2 teams that went unbeaten. That would be 2-0. At the end of this round robin. Nice play defensively over there on the outside by number 13. Looks like Christopher Chumby. And that shot just a little bit outside the net on the right side as the goalie runs down to go retrieve the ball. So 2 games for these Fort Gibson Tigers, and both times they score 5 goals and let up 0 points. Unless something changes with 8 minutes left in the game, this will be a dominating performance from these 2 outings for Fort Gibson, and a very good start to the season, in my opinion. One of the first shots that I can remember that Muskogee has taken at the goal in a long time. Muskogee sends that one back to the goalie. The goalie clears it. This was what we've been looking to see all night. Henry had a chance on the side, and right there, number 7, De La Greza misses on the right side of the goal. Got a little bit of a stoppage in play here. Goalie has to run back and get the ball. Got a couple substitutions coming in and out. Goalie taking his time to clear the ball. Now, nice play on the ball. Mr. Hit, and then a good job of recovering. Number 3, Zane Hazen. Sending the ball the other direction. Mr. Hit comes. There's Adam Stoudemire. Stoudemire going up the field. It's taken away by one of the Fort Gibson players. It looks like number 20. Rowan has it. Does a good job of kicking it back to the goalie. And the push by number 5, Braxton Fields, draws the whistle. Nice hustle by Adam Stoudemire. The ball gets turned over to Anthony. Stoudemire serves it up. Taken by a Fort Gibson player. Braxton playing tough defense over there, midfield. Fort Gibson try to advance the ball up. Good job with the block by Henry, number 4 over there at the wing. Adam Stoudemire is trying to stay in front of number 2, Jackson Purdue. We're a little less than 2 minutes in the game. It was a tough, hard-fought second game for Muskogee, but you could just tell their legs were not there for the second game, especially as hard as they played in the first one versus Coweta. But this Fort Gibson team just appeared to be, although they didn't look as fresh as they did in that first game either, and it's to be expected, they still, they find a way continuously to get to the back of the net. It's just a simple fact of just playing fast, playing smart, and being at the right place at the right time, it appears. And it was just too much for Muskogee to handle, especially after the performances they put on earlier in the day. But this is a dominating performance for Fort Gibson and the Tigers. They should go home very impressed and happy with what they've accomplished today. 2 games, 2 5-point showings on offense, and 2 shutouts on defense. You can't ask for much more to the start to the season. There's a lot to build on, and there's still some things that they're going to need to get corrected and do right if they want to, continue on that trend of that tradition of winning state championships at Fort Gibson. But a very strong performance here and a very good start to the season. And with that save right there by the goalie of Fort Gibson, Fisher Taylor, that is the end of the game, and that is the conclusion of the the Muskogee round robin tournament. It has been a pleasure to bring this to you by Bravado Wireless. The final score, Fort Gibson Tigers 5, Muskogee Ruffers 0. For everybody who's tuned in, I appreciate everything you've done, from the cast and the crew who's braved the elements and the cold and the weather to put on this beautiful this beautiful live stream for you guys. It's been a pleasure and an honor. Thank you for tuning in.